other song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to FM episode 2340.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2340 is this weekend. Awesome. Did you do some fun things? Did you watch lots of Blossom? Because Blossom was a show that I never watched. I was busy doing things like being chased by the cops. No, that wasn't actually happening. I think I'm sort of bending the truth a little.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But I will tell you, it is very fun to do this podcast and for you to listen to it. So there you go.
Mike's
That completes the circle.
Daily
Me doing the podcast.
Podcast.
You listening to the podcast.
Yeah!
Ta-da! I had a fun day yesterday because what I did was I relaxed. I did do a podcast. You can check it out at MikesDailyPodcast.com, all the past podcasts. And I ate some more leftovers. That's an exciting thing, to eat leftovers. And I was very thankful on this Thanksgiving weekend. Very thankful that I did not have a lot of food around. I did not actually cook this year. We were invited to some friends for Thanksgiving. I had a thing to do where I had to leave early. And thusly, they sent me with a care package later on. And they gave me quite a bit of stuff, but not like a ton of stuff. And so it's all gone. It's all done already. Between me and my lovely lady friend, it's all gone. And I feel like I did not overdo the calories, and I'm very happy about that. Because usually, in the past, I've had a lot of food thrown in my face. And that's not something to whine about. That's a first world problem. But at the same time, it is a problem that a lot of people have. They eat too much around the Thanksgiving. So,
And here's today's podcast picture.
and that leads us into the winter months where people start to get gym memberships, which I have never seen the point of, because people get into gym memberships and it becomes a financial nightmare. Hey, my ex-wife got into that situation. So you can see a picture from, I think this was, 4 years ago with the late, great Basil the Boxer. We were in Monterey. It's a cool little picture, Monterey, Carmel area visiting. Oh, we had such a fun time. We had so many fun trips going down there. The late, great Basil the Boxer. Miss him so much. But see that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Every single podcast I've done, all 2,340, have included a podcast picture. So you can go back and see some of them. So my point is that we had a fun time. What was my point? Oh, so this was a fun Thanksgiving, I must say. And I also want to throw a little plug in here that I'm going to be on a radio station that you can listen. I'll be playing some upbeat music to help you work off pounds. Some fun music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And you can hear that. There's a link at MikesDailyPodcast.com. But you have to listen between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. tomorrow. That's Sunday. And you'll hear the show. So tune in. Because if you do, then I get good ratings, and then that makes me look good. And then you should also tell people about this podcast, because if I get a lot of downloads and a lot of plays, then that's good, and people respect me more. And it's all about respect in life, isn't it? No, it's not. Who cares what people think? Yeah, that's probably more like it. Brian May, the guitarist from Queen, recently said... No. Hold on. Why is this happening? This is very upsetting to me. That when I try and log into Twitter, for some reason, it wants to send me a code. That's ridiculous. Huh. It's weird. What is up with Twitter? By the way, you can find me on Twitter at Mike Talks. I don't really post any tweets in particular. Nothing groundbreaking, but I do post the podcast. So if you are on Twitter and you want to get the podcast, honestly, I don't see it. I'm looking at Twitter now, and I really don't see anything groundbreaking here. It's very weird. People, when they tweet things and they don't really say anything in particular, I guess it's sort of the home of comedians. Here's one comedian, a female comedian, saying, "Last night I dreamt Brad Pitt asked me out on a date. And as I was getting ready, imagining us kissing as I brushed my hair, he started asking me to do assistant stuff, and he got super angry the way I did it. And I realized the date wasn't going to happen. Brad Pitt was just my abusive boss." Oh, that's sad. And then she says, "Brad Pitt owes me an apology." Okay. Oh, and there's this interesting comedian that I enjoy. He said, "I thought it was odd when the winner of the Great British Baking Show thanked Satan and asked us all to praise the Dark Lord." Did that actually happen? Okay. I know that Noel Fielding, isn't Noel Fielding the actor from IT Crowd? He's on there, and the Mighty Boosh. My point is, I'm on the Twitter posting when my podcast is. So if you're on Twitter and we're friends and you follow me, and right now I need all the help I can get, because let's see, what is my latest amount of followers? 180. I am following 124, and I have 180 followers, which I guess is pretty weak. But there you go. But anyway, Cafe Anyway, where we are, somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10, the last place on earth. Brian May, the amazing guitarist from Queen. All those songs, and he plays the guitar and does those amazing guitar solos that are legendary. Brian May says, "I don't find it easy living in this world today." Oh my gosh, who wrote this article? It says the Queen drummer. Brian May is the guitarist, you idiot. He has long been obsessed with the Victorian art of stereoscopy. No wonder he feels ill at ease in our age of cancel culture. All right, this is from Telemusic News, which sounds like it's written by a bunch of snowflakes who are like scared that cancel culture is going to go away and they won't be able to cancel people anymore because they're snowflakes, and they think that Brian May is a drummer. He's a guitarist, you moron. Outside of Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10, the last place on earth. Stereoscopy. What is that? It was an early way of looking at photographs via a viewer that fused together two images to create a single 3D image. Kind of looks like that thing oh, by the way, Telemusic News or Telegraph Music, I believe this is correct, though. This is one thing they were right with. He has a PhD in astrophysics and has collaborated with NASA, and he owns these stereo photo cards. Viewmaster, that's right. That's what that was once upon a time. What else did Twitter tweet me? The 100 most polluted cities in the world. Let's see. India had 46 of the world's 100 most polluted cities. Yikes. Followed by China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia. This is according to IQ Air. All right. What else? Divided on COVID-19 vaccines, but reliant on community, this Manitoba town tries to find its way back together. In southern Manitoba, yes, in Canada, towns divided between the vaccinated and unvaccinated are trying to find ways to join together in the ways they're used to, helped by their community and church leaders. This, according to @Globe and Mail. Stores and restaurants have become battlegrounds between weary employees and protesters. The people are sometimes dismissed as backwards or worse in some areas of the province. But locals say they feel this is an unfair characterization of their spirit. That's probably true of a lot of places. And Austria is really trying to crack down on the unvaccinated. Here's one about Oregon. A federal drought relief program left southern Oregon parched and contributed to the ongoing groundwater crisis in the West. The Bureau of Reclamation for 2 decades incentivized farmers to pump water faster than the resource could recover, despite warnings from its own scientists. Hundreds of household wells went dry in Klamath County. Gosh, that's going on. Wow. The water bank that the Bureau of Reclamation, a federal agency that manages agricultural water supplies in Klamath Basin, has funded for 2 decades to the tune of $105 million. The water bank supported, among other initiatives, a program that paid farmers to pump groundwater whenever there was a run on surface water. That's any source above ground, like lakes or rivers. In most years, the water bank reimbursed producers not only for their pumping power bills, but it also paid an additional stipend that increased the value the more that one pumped. As a result, pumping in the region increased significantly compared to 2001 volumes, particularly during droughts. They are susceptible to droughts in Oregon. The pay-to-pump program was initially conceived as a short-term response to dry years. Then drought became the new normal. Since 2001, the water bank has paid farmers to pump groundwater approximately 2 out of every 3 years. The unsustainable groundwater pumping reduced the total amount of water to the detriment of fish and wildlife. Yikes. So that is what's happening. That's according to The Counter. The website called The Counter at The Counter is their handle. Hey, look at this. I'm almost done with fascinating things. Let's end this with this here. So we got this long weekend. May I suggest to you a couple of these suggestions that I found from lifehack.org. To make your long weekends better, don't oversleep. That can lead to you just being cranky on Monday, feeling exhausted on Monday, because it affects your biological rhythm, as we've talked about before. Because naps help purging negative emotions, increasing alertness, and enhancing your ability to learn. Naps in your weekend routine as well. Make a habit to always wake up at the same time every day. And include naps in your weekend routine as well, whether it's for 10 or 45 minutes. Naps help purge negative emotions, increase alertness, enhance your ability to learn. You should spend time with your loved ones. Reconnect with family members or friends who you've neglected during the week. Don't do it out of guilt or because you have to. Do it because you want to. Reach out to them to see how they are doing. Don't call them only when you need them. Return their calls if you were busy when they last tried to reach you. That's a good idea. Connecting. Reconnecting. Apply the no technology rule. Stay away from TV, iPad, iPhone, and any other electronic devices and unplug. Your brain needs to clear up from all the stress you put on yourself during the week. Why not read a book instead? A paper one. Seriously, when was the last time you did that? Spend time outdoors. Make friends with nature again. Pay attention to its beauty and breathe the fresh air. Take time for your meals. Don't go, there's no rush to go to the next meeting or finish that presentation by the end of the day. You're not on a schedule. Feel the taste and smell of what you're eating. Enjoy it. Cook something. Home cook something because you have the time. Simply be in that moment without putting your mind in overdrive again and thinking already what you'll be doing next. And eat healthy too. You know, vegetables, that kind of thing. Declutter your home. Spend time with that during the weekend. Is your paperwork all over the place? Clean it up. Is the bathroom all piled up with tons of products? Look for your favorite clothes, what you want to wear during the week. Consider what to toss and donate to charity. Stop being a chronic worrier. Put that what-if mindset aside. Refrain from worrying over things you can't control, like the government shutdown, the economy, the new COVID variant, or anything like that. Make a plan to do something about stuff that's worrying you. Write down the steps you would follow to get projects done. Meditate or go to a yoga class. Pause and pay attention to your thoughts. Laugh, and laugh again. Do a lot of laughing, the best medicine. And express thanks, especially on a Thanksgiving weekend. Express gratitude. Be grateful, and this is something you should do all the time, but be grateful for your friends, your family, your health, for the food you put on the table, for the clothes you wear, the roof over your head. Grateful for the little things. Thanks living. And cultivate your hobby. What is it you like to do on the side? Taking pictures, baking bread, painting, writing poetry, playing piano, or gardening. Give yourself the benefit of spending time doing something you find enjoyable. You get the much needed mental relaxation and satisfaction of pursuing your interests, which leads to a sense of fulfillment. This all from lifehack.org. Excellent thoughts to think about with the thoughts and the thinking and all that. And you can do this project that I'm doing lately is reevaluating all the everyday expressions that you use. Like, why exactly do we say things like, oh, he hightailed it out of there? What does that mean, hightailing? Where did that come? The expression, my lovely lady friend said it's probably from because it means leave in a great hurry. She says, oh, it's because when animals run really fast, their tail is up high. It's actually a Western expression, was used to describe the way a herd of Mustangs break and race when spooked or frightened by the approach of cowboys. This from phrases.com, .org actually. Phrases.org. Which I think might become my new favorite website, actually, because I'm reevaluating all of these phrases that I use. So, there. I've just bookmarked that. Also, as far as Thanksgiving goes, this past Thanksgiving was fun. I enjoyed it. Being with my lovely lady friend. I will tell you, I did think about a Thanksgiving that I had 9 years ago that was not so good. It was just before the separation of me and my ex-wife, and we went on this last big trip together. No, wait a minute. It wasn't the last one, because we also went to San Diego shortly before we separated. But I'd say it was the last long road trip we took together. We drove from the Bay Area down to Ventura, where I grew up. I'd say, well, from my teenage years, I lived there from my teenage years all the way through my 30s. I lived in the Ventura County area, worked there. And if you're listening to my voice, perhaps you heard me on the radio when I worked down there in the 80s, 90s, and the O's. And, we took a trip down there, our last big road trip, and I could tell some things were amiss. And that Maroon 5 album was out with the song Payphone on it, and there are a lot of songs about breaking up on there. And my ex-wife was playing it on the radio the whole time, and I was thinking, is she trying to tell me something? But then I remember, too, we drove on Thanksgiving. We got up early, and for all the traffic that happens the night before Thanksgiving, as what happened on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, it was totally blocked, all the freeways heading east or anywhere people were trying to get out of the Bay Area to go to wherever for Thanksgiving. And we left early in the morning on Thanksgiving morning. I had brought with me a Costco rotisserie chicken, and I had roasted vegetables the night before. And so we basically, when we got down to Ventura, we stayed at the hotel. The hotel had a microwave. We heated up everything. So we had like a little Thanksgiving dinner. And I was just thinking about that trip the other day, and just that I could feel the dark cloud over me the whole time, like something, and I'm sure my ex-wife felt the same thing. There was something going on. So just not a very enjoyable Thanksgiving that year. Although it was the last time I saw Ventura, and I miss Ventura and my friends down there, and I should go down to visit them at some point. But a lot has happened in the past 9 years. I haven't been able to go, but that was the last time. That was a trip of a lot of last times. And that sometimes happens in life. We're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. And look who is here. Hi, Ma. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
I hear y'all talking about Thanksgiving, even though that it is past, and I'm glad it's gone because I am so sick of turkey.
I know. I mean, we hunger for it. Some of us carnivores, we hunger for it as it approaches, and then it's here, and then it's like gone, and we're like glad it's gone, and that then we're rushing to the gym, which I don't agree with, because like I was saying, my ex-wife, she had a gym membership, and she could not get out of it until we had to move. We literally had to move out of the state to get out of the contract that she had. So be very wary, be very careful of gyms and when they sign you up, and read that contract carefully. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. How's it right now? I'll cut you.
What's in this root beer?
I don't know.
Let me try it. Yum. That's really good.
Yeah, I put stuff in it that tastes like root beer. Oh, boy.
Excellent. Root beer that tastes like root beer is the best root beer. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM is the Mike Matthews. Daily, as in what this podcast has been for a couple of days now. We'll try to keep it going. We'll see how that goes. Sometimes life interrupts me, as you know. Take us out, A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!